Coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios, this is Prime News on SABC 3. Here are the stories making headlines.
We must accept that President Donald Trump has taken away what belongs to his country.
The health minister says government currently has no plan to assist the 8,000 workers who lost their jobs following the withdrawal of funding by the United States government. Expectations are high ahead of President Cyril Ramaphosa's visit to the United States next week. Good evening and a warm welcome to your 8 o'clock news bulletin. You're tuned into Prime News on 3, and I am your host, Beki Mutumomolete. We're glad you're joining us tonight as we take you through the top stories that are shaping our world this evening. Let's get into it. Health Minister Aaron Motsoaledi has lambasted some health experts and media reports that South Africa's HIV/AIDS program is in a state of collapse. Motsoaledi also says his department is in talks with potential funders to close the gap left by the termination of the PEPFAR funding by the United States government.
Health Minister Aaron Motsoaledi sought to allay public concerns over the impact of the PEPFAR transition, emphasizing the government's readiness to maintain and also strengthen the HIV/AIDS program using domestic resources. Motsoaledi says the fight against HIV/AIDS can only be conquered through working together.
We must accept that President Donald Trump has taken away what belongs to his country. This has left many people distraught.
PEPFAR has invested over $8 billion in South Africa since its inception, funding testing, antiretroviral treatment, prevention campaigns and community-based interventions. However, Motsoaledi says this gap will not affect those on ARV treatment in the country, also citing his disapproval of some media reports that the program is collapsing.
It is inconceivable that out of 46.8 billion rand spent by the country on HIV/AIDS program, the withdrawal of 7.9 billion by President Trump will immediately lead to a collapse of the entire program. We believe it's inconceivable.
According to Stats SA, South Africa has the highest number of people living with HIV/AIDS in Africa, with almost 8 million people estimated to be living with the virus. It remains to be seen whether the South African government will be able to close the gap left by the PEPFAR aid withdrawal. Lopang Alamu, SABC News, Tshwane.
President Cyril Ramaphosa will begin his 4-day working visit to the U.S. on Monday. On Wednesday, he will meet President Donald Trump at the White House to discuss bilateral, regional and global issues of interest. Spokesperson Vincent Mangwenya outlines the purpose of his working visit.
I think most importantly, it's to understand the purpose of the meeting, which is an opportunity to reset the relationship between South Africa and the US, which we've always identified as strategic between the two countries. And it is fantastic that that exercise will commence in earnest at the highest level of leadership between the two countries. So that's the first thing. And the second thing, you have a myriad of issues ranging from bilateral trade to geopolitical issues, and of course, issues of concern, albeit misinformed, if you like, with respect to what is happening in our country. President Ramaphosa will certainly use the opportunity to affirm what he has said before to President Trump with respect to the so-called white genocide, which, as we all know, is patently false.
Does he think he'll listen, though?
Well, they've spoken on the phone, and they will speak in person. So He will have to listen. There will be an honest engagement. We would believe that in some cases or in some areas, it will be a robust engagement. There's nothing wrong with that when that engagement is open. And in that case, the president is hopeful that something positive will come out of the meeting.
The ANC in Gauteng says it's gearing up for next year's local government elections with renewed focus. Following a sharp decline in support during the 2024 national polls, the newly reconfigured provincial task team believes the recent by-election results are confirmation that they are on the right path.
If Gauteng is turned around, it will help to turn South Africa around, because Gauteng continues to contribute over 30% to the GDP.
With less than a year to go before South Africans head to the polls again, the ANC in Gauteng says it's taking no chances in the country's economic hub. Determined to recover from its electoral decline, the reconfigured provincial task team says it's focused on both internal renewal and external credibility.
ANC Gauteng provincial task team reaffirmed and committed itself to its mandate, which is as follows: to rebuild and renew the structures of the organization, conduct overall political education underpinned by the foundation course to be undertaken by the ANC, by each ANC branch, leveraging the capabilities of past leaders and activists, preparing and campaigning for the victory of the ANC in the forthcoming local government elections.
A key priority, ensuring all branches are in good administrative standing and ready for the upcoming conferences. The Lekgotla also reviewed service delivery and the quality of life in Johannesburg, with governance and accountability central to its discussions.
At the Lekgotla, we had an independent company that came to present their findings. So immediately after we have lost elections in the province, we're not waiting for the next elections. We appointed a company to say, go back to voters and ask them why they voted the way they voted. So we received that report. And based on that report, we are developing strategies.
The provincial task team now enters a 12-month phase of restructuring, a final push to unify the organization ahead of the 2026 local government elections. Hasina Gori, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Welcome back. The termination of the bursary awarded to Murwadi Cholota by the Free State government was at the center of the cross-examination by former Free State Premier Ace Magoshule's lawyer, Lawrence Hodes. Hodes submitted that the investigators had an influence in the termination of the bursary by constantly engaging the then Director General of the Free State, Gqeberha.
The state witness shockingly admitted that he previously declared under oath that Cholota was a fugitive from justice when he had not even sent her an email to her known email address.
Secondly, we believe that thereafter she was given ultimatums. Either you cooperate with the police or we're going to terminate your bursary.
The state pushed hard to object, contending that Magoshule's defense was not getting to the jurisdiction matter.
If I may again, at this junction, this still does not bring us back to the point of what we are here for in terms of jurisdiction. And I'll disagree with my learned colleague. This has been taken up. In fact, it was even put to the witness before that her life, his accused number 17's life had been ruined. But beyond this particular legal representative is not appearing on behalf of accused number 17.
Former Free State Premier Ace Magashule has strongly criticized the 32 million rand preservation order announced by the NPA on Wednesday.
So I want to say to the South African public, this is spinning. There isn't any order by any court yesterday. They are trying to divert attention from what is happening in court.
NPA weighed in on the 2020 300 million rand restraint order.
It has nothing to do with the over 200 million restraint order that was obtained in 2020, which relates to other accused persons.
Makhala Masideng, SABC News, Bloemfontein.
Convicted rapist Moses Gqeberha has been sentenced to life imprisonment by the Gqeberha High Court for the 2010 rape of GBV activist and businesswoman Andisiwe Kawa. Gqeberha faces 12 charges including kidnapping, robbery, theft and multiple counts of rape.
Because of the sentence of life imprisonment imposed in respect of the stated counts, all the other sentences in the other counts shall automatically run concurrently.
It's been 15 years since the ordeal, and finally justice has prevailed. Kawa was attacked, robbed and abducted while taking a stroll by the King's Beach in Gqeberha. What was meant to be a refreshing moment became a 15-hour-long nightmare and lifetime of trauma. Her perpetrator was finally slapped with 8 years life sentences by Judge Philip Zilwa. Despite the life sentence, the family still anticipate the possibility of a parole with anxiety.
So as much as we are relieved for hearing a life sentence, it is also very difficult knowing that we will have to go through the parole board. And I think this is one area where government can really make a difference in terms of changing the legislation so true life sentences are able to be imposed in South Africa, especially with accused who are clearly career criminals and have shown no remorse.
Lack of remorse was cited as reason enough for a maximum sentence. Judge Zilwa told the court that Gqeberha had no regard for human rights and did not respect women, making it a threat to others.
I want to advocate and commend Andy for coming forward. She's not only a victim, she's a survivor. And what she has successfully done, she has taken off a rapist off the street. And that means she's protecting other women.
The court further sentenced Gqeberha to 24 years direct imprisonment for kidnapping, assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, and robbery with aggravating circumstances. The sentences will all run concurrently. Andangonji, SABC News, Gqeberha.
The United National Transport Union is pinning its hopes on a possible revised offer by Transnet as the negotiations between the two parties remain deadlocked. Both UNTU and Transnet have been in meetings with the CCMA as the mediator in an effort to avert a crippling strike by the union's estimated 40,000 plus members.
What is that we are expecting to get a revised wage offer, or we foresee rather to get a revised wage offer by Monday close of business, and that we will then consider that revised offer. We will then have to take it back to our members because we are mandate driven, and we do get our mandate from our members, which we find really, really important. And what is really important to emphasize is that if we do not receive that revised offer on Monday, then we will look at exercising our right according to the Constitution and according to the Labour Relations Act. But what is also important that on that revised offer, we do have non-negotiables, and one of those non-negotiables is a non-retrenchment clause. We've crisscrossed the country, and our members have made their voices heard that they do not want an agreement with no retrenchment clause, taking into consideration all the private sector participation reforms that are currently taking and Transnet so jobs security is a very serious concern from us and from our members on the ground, and that is really one of the major non-negotiables that we have. And also remember that we're done with our balloting process and our members are in favor of taking to the streets.
Thank you for staying with us. Residents in areas such as Hanover Park, Philippi and Mitchell's Plain on the Cape Flats are said to benefit greatly from the new My City bus projects that are under construction in their areas. The projects are expected to be completed in about 2 years' time.
My City bus interchanges are under construction in various areas on the Cape Flats. The bus network is being designed to provide more affordable transport for residents in areas such as Mitchell's Plain, Hanover Park and Philippi. The city says it has allocated several billion rand for the transport infrastructure. Construction on the Claremont interchange has also started.
This work package that we've just started today is a 620 million rand portion of the bigger project. The bigger project is 7 It's over 7 billion rand, so it's a massive, massive project. And that will roll out, as I said, almost all of it is under construction. We have just the last one up at Claremont to start.
The importance of this project as the Southeast Corridor is because of the demographics and socioeconomics of that corridor. It is the most densely populated section of our city, and also by and large one of the more economically vulnerable sectors of our city.
The project is scheduled for completion by June 2027. Corbin August, SABC News, Cape Town.
South Africa is working on an enhanced e-commerce strategy as part of its efforts to position customs as an economic enabler. Deputy Finance Minister Ashor Serupen addressed the opening of the 2025 Governing Council of the World Customs meeting in Pretoria, hosted by SARS.
The World Customs Organization East and Southern Africa Governing Council has 24 countries as members, including South Africa, that meet annually to take stock of regional issues and developments in the global customs ecosystem. The South African Revenue Services Commissioner Edward Kitsweta is playing host at the two-day meeting in Pretoria.
The higher purpose of the customs work is the protection and the well-being of society against harmful trade that distorts domestic economies, threatens our health, and erodes social cohesion. Global trade is the lifeblood of economies.
Deputy Finance Minister Ashor Serupen delivered an address at the meeting outlining interventions.
The rapid growth of e-commerce has flooded borders with high volumes of small, low-value parcels, posing major logistical and regulatory challenges for customs. Traditional models for processing, declaring and inspecting goods are struggling to keep up, leading to delays and greater risks of non-compliance.
The World Customs Organization's Secretary General Ian Saunders says the 31st annual meeting in South Africa comes as the global body works on refining its customs modernization strategic plan.
The pursuit of change is not restricted to the organization. It's something we hope to advance in our members and all of you. And a guide for this effort is the theme that we chose for this year: Customs delivering on its commitment to efficiency, security, and prosperity.
The country also believes the efforts around customs administration in terms of monitoring will help South Africa get out of the grey list.
SABC News in Pretoria.
It is now time for us to forecast the art of the skies. Your weather update is next.
Good evening to you. Let's take a look at all your weather details. We've got clear skies overnight in towards the Western Cape and Northern Cape, the east coast of the country. Mostly clear, but as you head northwards towards KwaZulu-Natal, some partly cloudy skies appear in the forecast, stretching towards the central parts of the country and then towards the north and northeastern parts as well. Ahead towards the start of the weekend, Friday sees partly cloudy skies for the northeastern parts of South Africa on towards the coastline of KwaZulu-Natal, whilst sunny skies dominate the southern areas of the Free State, the Northern Cape, southwards in towards the Western Cape, but the coastal region of that province expecting partly cloudy skies and sunny conditions prevail in towards the Eastern Cape. Gqeberha dropping to 16 degrees overnight, 13 is the expected low in Cape Town, Sutherland down to a chilly 4 degrees, Bloemfontein and De Aar down to 8, whilst Johannesburg dips to 7 and warms up on Friday afternoon to a maximum of 20 degrees. A cloudy 20 degrees expected in Polokwane tomorrow, Messina into the mid-20s at 26. The east coast of the country expecting some cloud cover around Richards Bay and Durban, both in the mid-20s. Gqeberha up to 29. It will be sunny tomorrow, whilst the interior of the Eastern Cape is fairly warm, with Makanda up to 31. Back down the coast, East London up to 27. Cape Town the same tomorrow, warmer through the interior of the Western Cape, whilst Vredendal warms up to a maximum of 35. Ahead towards Saturday, we see partly cloudy skies in towards the Northern Cape and Western Cape. Warm temperatures are expected, becoming cooler as you head towards the Southern Free State in towards the northeastern parts of the country. Saturday will be nice and sunny in Gauteng and in Mpumalanga, where it'll be warm in Mpumalanga, and eastwards towards the coastline, warmer temperatures are expected. That's it from me. Enjoy your evening.
And that's the latest from our newsroom. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, from myself and the team, stay ahead. Good night.